Okay, for reasons that I have not been able to discern yet, I've been asked to do a couple of these devotional things. The reading for this one is Philippians 1, 12 through 18, and I'm going to read it, and I might skip part of it, but here it goes. Now I want you to know, brothers and sisters, that what has happened to me has actually served to advance the gospel. This is Paul saying this. As a result, it has become clear through the whole palace guard and to everyone else that I am in chains for Christ. And because of my chains, most of the brothers and sisters have become confident in the Lord and dare all the more to proclaim the gospel without fear. It is true that some preach Christ out of envy and rivalry, but others out of goodwill. The latter do so out of love, knowing that I am here for the defense of the gospel. The former preach Christ out of selfish ambition, not sincerely, supposing that they can stir trouble up for me while I am in chains. But what does that matter? The important thing is that in every way, whether from false motives or true, Christ is preached, and because of this I rejoice. So that made me think of two questions. Number one, what is this good news that's worth being in chains for? And since we're in Advent, I kind of look at it through the lens of incarnation, and I'm using my notes here. First, there's the incarnation itself, which Thomas Merton described as giving him immense joy just to be part of the same race of creatures that God would become one. The Logos, the eternal Word, the unfathomable God becomes a man, a son of man, who eats and drinks and all that stuff and eventually dies. But the second thing about this incarnation is what Jesus really embodies, this new kind of humanity. Maybe not really new, but different. Based on God being a God of love and grace and mercy and abundance, and also a God of truth. And because God is a God of truth, the gospel does away with a lot of illusions, like the illusion that we're separate from God, that we're separate from each other, and that there's not enough to go around, because God is a God of abundance. So I'm glad I don't have to be literally in chains over this gospel, but that's good news. And the next question is, why does it have to be chained up? Who are the chain bearers anyway? Who would chain it up? I mean, in Paul's case, it was the Roman Empire. But in our world, it could be our culture, the market, economy, consumerism, modern capitalism, or any sort of political ideology. And the gospel is scandalous to this world, because this world is kind of based on scarcity, a model of scarcity. If there's not enough, you got to compete. You got to win, you got to get more power, more money, more control. You got to be better looking. And instead of neighbors, we have competitors for all these scarce resources. And that goes with the religious establishment too, which tells us, you're not good enough, you're not holy enough, you got to be more righteous. All of this stuff that says you're not good enough to just be a human. And I got a little poem snippet there that I'm going to quote from this Indian, not American Indian, Indian, who said, "Some are Hindu, some are Muslim, some are Christian. All are hell-bent on not being human beings." But being a human, that was enough for Jesus. So my devotional takeaway from this is, first of all, I don't want to be one of the people that applies the chains to anyone. And the other thing is, I want to get rid of my own chains. And that's good enough.